Let's start here. Disgruntled ANC members in the Mangaung Region in the Free State who are running a parallel conference have officially elected their own new top 5 leadership. The leaders were elected last night, while the conference endorsed by the provincial structure will carry elections this afternoon. This group, which initially attempted to interdict the conference, failed at the High Court, resulting in the matter being dismissed. They, however, continued with the conference. Our reporter Mbali Thethani is there and joins us for an update. Mbali, so these people tried to go to court to interdict the other conference. They failed and they continued with their conference. Are they confident that, in fact, the ANC will look at this leadership as legitimate, given all of those issues?
And that's why we are here, Clement. Of course, you would know that indeed this is the group that had taken the other conference to court and tried to halt that conference from going ahead. But of course, we know that then the court then allowed for that conference to continue. But these group of disgruntled ANC members here in Mangaung are carrying on with their conference, and they are maintaining that as much as we hear from the Disputes Resolution Committee and of course the provincial structure of the ANC that all disputes have been resolved, they are continuing to say that there are still outstanding disputes. I'm just going to step out of shot and just show you the more than 100 delegates who have made their way here to the President Hotel in Bloemfontein. And of course, as you would know, that yesterday we saw that leadership structure from their end being elected, and of course that is indeed the top 5. That top 5, the secretary being Donyana Silibedi, and of course today they are also now expected to go into commissions, and at the same time they will then be voting in for their new 20 officials who will form part of their additional members. I'm going to bring in the newly elected secretary. His name is Donyana Silibedi. Donyana, I just want to find out from you, yesterday, despite the court giving the green light to your colleagues in the Imvelo Safari Lodge to go ahead with their conference, you continue to take your conference forward.
I'm not sure how did the court arrive to give the former IRC to continue, because what I heard is that they are still waiting for the judge in 10 days to provide us with the outcome of the court. So we don't know as to how it came that they must continue. And one thing again, remember the National Dispute Resolution Committee, it hasn't concluded anything with regard to branches that have raised complaints or concern. So that was our concern also then. And during the week, the same National Dispute Resolution through the Office of the Secretary have mandated a tax team to relook to certain branches as to how true it is that there was a fraud and issues with regard to their processes and processes that have happened in there by BVGM. So until today, we haven't received any report that says that the following branches are validated from that. So it can't be correct that there is a report until the acting Secretary General have reflected through a paper. And it must be noted, National Attorney have written to the IPC that there is no any conference that is going to be held in Mangaung, specifically in this region. So we're concerned as to how did it came about that the same IRC will call a conference. That is why some of members within the same IRC, they said, no, there is no way, because we have never been part and parcel of this particular committee that is done by IRC. So they have agreed that there is a need for them to call a similar conference, and this is why you find us here today.
Are you the faction of the suspended Secretary General Esma Khashile?
No. We are members of the ANC. And on our own right, we have the right to air out our views. We don't follow any individuals in whatever form that they can be disciplined by the ANC. We follow the constitution of the ANC and clearly the strategy and tactics of the ANC related to its documents that are there. We are here as members of ANC, and our responsibility is to guard and build and renew the ANC back to its roots. Remember, it's our responsibility as general members of the ANC to ensure that we partake in any activities of the ANC. So this is one of those activities where we're supposed to come and air out our view.
But the provincial structure says that this conference is not endorsed by the IPC. And one would say, what is your end goal if the IPC itself, your convener is not even here, is not endorsing this conference, and they are even liaising with Lutuli House?
We are not concerned about the convener, because the convener is part and parcel of people who are causing, maybe I can quote Fikile, who are causing razzmatazz here. He's making his own things in whatever form that he thinks is correct. And he's having his own view that are outside of the parameters of the ANC. So we can't rely to that convener. Indeed, there are many comrades who are here. And IPC members attended this particular IPC and conference. They came here and they were here. They have made opening remarks, and we are expecting them to come as soon as we are closing to give us closing remarks.
All right, thank you very much. That is Donyana, the newly elected secretary for this specific conference. One would say that it just shows you the sheer division within this region. Half of the members are attending a conference at the Mvelo Lodge, while others are here at the President Hotel. Also, Clement, this conference being endorsed by some members of the IRC as well as the IPC.
Mbali, Thethani, thank you so much for that quick update. Now let's stay